And welcome to everyone with CareerForce's Explore Careers for Tuesday, March 2nd, 2021, when we explore the utilities infrastructure industry. Now you may think, what in the world is this and what are we getting ourselves into? I'm so glad today to have three different speakers, Universal Services, BRAUN INTERTEC, and Minnesota Utility Contractors Association. But to set the stage, I just want to kind of set the scene, and then my next speaker will go into this a little bit further. I want to point out to everyone that Minnesota ranks 5th in internet usage in the entire company. This is from 2019 data. That means an awful lot of broadband lines have had to be laid. And then in combination with all of our energy services, there's a lot of digging going on and a lot of, I don't know everything. So I would like to invite Stephanie Menning of Minnesota Utilities Contractors to tell us what in the world is this. So Stephanie is going to share her screen. Maybe I need to stop sharing, Stephanie. What do you think?
Let's try it. See if this works.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Are you seeing it?
Yep.
Excellent. Well, my name is Stephanie Menning, and I am the Executive Director for the Minnesota Utility Contractors Association. I just have a few fun facts for you up here about construction in the industry, and this is construction overall. The average Minnesota construction worker makes $61,000 per year. 95% of people that get into construction want to stay in construction. Personally, I think that has to do with walking away from hard work and a job well done, and you can actually see what you've accomplished in your day. And then we also are looking forward to an 11.5% growth over the next 5 years. So we have plenty of jobs and we need people. The keys to employment, you got to like to work hard. It is outdoors. Sometimes that weather isn't always cooperative, but if you like to be outdoors, sometimes you get really nice days to work outside. If you're not the office type, construction might be a great job, and it definitely is great pay for the way to go. Let's talk about who MUCA is, Minnesota Utility Contractors Association. We are a bunch of companies, about 140 companies that are engaged in underground utility infrastructure. This can be everything from gas lines that go to your house, sewer lines, water, fresh water. What we do is provide things that every human needs to survive every day. Getting a glass of clean water to drink, taking a hot shower, flicking that switch and having the lights come on, or heating your home. That is exactly what our contractors bring and the vendor members bring. So when you look at this list of who all the companies are, we have a varying range, like Forest Lake Contracting up in Forest Lake. They do highway heavy construction. Ellingson Companies does horizontal directional drilling, installing pipes under the ground without having to dig it up. Interstate Companies, they work year round. They do snow removal. They're up by Forest Lake as well. Or you've got others like Magni Construction out in Chanhassen. They build lift stations. If you don't know what a lift station is, that is what, let's just put it this way, where your sewage goes to get cleared before it moves on to its next destination. So all of these companies are involved and engaged in some kind of utility that gets installed underground, gas, electric, so forth and so on. So here's what we do. For instance, the first picture that you see at the top, it's a new housing development up in Big Lake. That's one of our member companies, Brentonson, installing a water line. The middle picture that you see is actually in South Minneapolis. That's another one of our members, Michaels Corporation. And what they're doing is repairing gas line in a neighborhood. And then the bottom picture is SM Henches out of Jordan, Minnesota, and they're installing obviously massive water lines. That was a project down by the river in Brooklyn Park. So whether it's a private utility, somebody that's a home builders are putting in a new subdivision and they need water and gas and sewer and electricity to go to those homes, or whether it's a public utility, if it's the city of Owatonna or Duluth that needs a new wastewater treatment plant or a new sewer system or an upgrade to their current infrastructure. That is what our contractor members do. Our vendor members are the ones that sell and manufacture the equipment that the contractors use to get this stuff done. So you could work either for a contractor or you could go to work selling the pipes, the concrete, the heavy equipment sales, or if you provide a service, if you're going into the insurance business or engineering. There's just a myriad of jobs that are available for folks that are interested in this industry. So my best suggestion to you is if you are interested, there's a couple of different websites you can go to. You can go to Project Build, which has a list of jobs and different kinds of construction. But for underground utility construction, you can go to www.muca.org. And when you look under the members category, you'll see contractors. If you're interested in working for a contractor, go ahead and go to that page and scroll over their name. It'll take you right to their website. Most of the contractors, as a matter of fact, I've been watching them on LinkedIn. Several of them have jobs that are posted on LinkedIn. So we're getting ready to ramp up for the season. The other thing that the Minnesota Utility Contractors is doing, and this is our second go at this, we didn't post one last year due to COVID, but we have what's called a trades show and tell. It's a construction career fair. It'll be taking place Saturday, April 24th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at ERX Motor Park in Elk River. If you head straight out 94 and go north on 169, there will be dozens of companies there that are looking either to hire people or to share more information about the underground utility construction industry and or cement and masonry, ironworking, laborers, operators, carpentry. There's a lot of different vendors that'll be there that'll help you learn more about the construction industry, and we'd love to see you out there. So everybody's welcome. There's no cost to attend. There is prize drawings, and we will have some food trucks out there. So it's a good opportunity for those that are interested or seeking a career in construction to come out and learn more about what's available, about how much you can earn, and all the myriad of jobs that are available through construction. Estimator, project manager, like I said, laborer, operator. It really runs a long list of possible opportunities for those who are seeking a career in construction, and specifically if you're interested in underground utility construction, which we really do need. I mean, I don't know any one of my member companies that isn't looking for someone, so we'd love to have you join. And speaking of which, by the way, this should apply to women as well. Next week is National Women in Construction Week. So there's a lot of brilliant women out there that have found a good home in construction as well as really good money. So hopefully we'll pique some of your interest as well. I'll take any questions if anybody has any.
Stephanie, my question, I've got a couple, and I'll start off, and then when all of you on the call have questions, put them in the chat and I'll read them off. What's the split between union, non-union companies within the utilities infrastructure world?
Wow. Well, most of them, we have both. I will say this for MUCA members, probably about 96% are union. And if they're not union, part of the requirement is, for instance, if you're working on MnDOT's 35W project, even if you're a non-union company, if you are paying prevailing wages, MnDOT will accept your company as a good worker. So it's up to, it's up to the individual company if they choose to be union. So you're welcome to pursue either path. we really don't, MUCA as an organization doesn't engage with the unions. We believe that's between the business owner and the union that they seek. So we're just happy to promote the underground infrastructure industry because it is a great place to work and it is really good money. And yeah, you will work hard and you'll be outside on nice days and you'll be outside on some inclement days, but it'll all be, it all works out, as a matter of fact. And some of them actually, if you get with the right companies that only do infrastructure, of course, here in Minnesota, we're limited by time. You know, we're coming upon construction season now. Typically, April 1st is the unofficial start of the construction season. But a lot of folks that do this work, because the ground freezes, are unable to do it in the winter. So it would require that folks, you know, manage their money well. If you're only working from April through probably November, then you have December, January, February, and March off. But you get good pay. So if you work it out right, you can actually have a pretty good career. Men are not pretty good. You can have a really good career. A lot of these guys that I've known have gone through, I guess, working for the same company. I know one gentleman that worked for the same company for 17 years and ended up buying the company. So now he owns his own construction company. Training is available both through the union and or through the contractor. They will train you. The education process is pretty good. If there are certain things that you need to be certified in order to, like, for instance, fuse gas pipe or install sewers, we do have training and certifications for that, and or the contractor and or the union will also make sure that you get properly trained for any jobs that you're seeking.
One question is coming in. A caller is in greater West Central Minnesota. Do you have members in this area? What's the spread of your membership?
Well, actually, that's a great question. Because the cities are the cities, and because of what we do, you can see by the photos here the size of the equipment that's required to do this work. Big trucks, excavators, backhoes, dozers. There's no place to store those in the cities. So as a matter of fact, most of our members are outside of the cities. There's a good realm of them that are on the skirt, but out west, there's folks like, let's say, there's KHC Construction. I believe they're down in Marshall. There's Beamer Construction there, Beamer Companies there in Fairmont. There's Dunnick Brothers, who are huge. They're down in, let's see, Dunnick. They're in Princeburg, which is way west of the cities. There are construction companies. Riley Brothers is in Morris, Minnesota. There are construction companies everywhere, and there are because every city, every county needs updated, upgraded sewer, water. A lot of these pipes that have been in the ground have been in there for decades. So our job as an association is to appeal for funding from the state and federal government to get these things repaired before they break down. You may have heard of water pipes breaking. Things like that happen. And they happen because the infrastructure wasn't repaired in time or replaced in time. So the need is great. That's why we can look forward to an 11.5% growth over the next 5 years. You could start a career and literally end your career in this contracting industry if you choose to. And that would be from either side, from either the work as a contractor or even if you prefer sales. If you want to sell plastic pipe or if you want to sell concrete pipe, there's plenty of vendors out there that have all sorts of tools selling equipment. Now, just keep in mind how much that equipment costs and imagine what your commission would be if you're selling a $250,000 piece of equipment to a contractor. There's plenty of opportunity here, and everybody, pretty much everybody I know is hiring. Any other questions?
Thank you. No other questions right now, but my other one, okay, this is
yes, I saw
here.
That one. It's their training without experience.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, there is. The union will train you if you're going to work for a shop that is a union shop. And like I said, 96% of MUCA members are union. So If you want to become a laborer, that's probably where you would start, because obviously they're not going to put someone in a backhoe if they haven't operated a backhoe before. But like I said, these are long-term careers. So yeah, and even sales without sales experience, they are willing to train you. Most of the companies that I know, especially the larger ones like Core and Main or some of those large pipe suppliers, they actually have programs. Once you get hired, they have programs that they will run you through. And usually they're a couple of different weeks, and they'll also put you in a shadow job. You'll accompany someone who is already doing that position to understand more about the job and what its requirements are. Ooh, what was that? I have a little experience with a skid steer. I think I saw that. I'm going to stop sharing here.
Great. Yeah, I didn't see that. That must have been a private chat to you. But thank you, Stephanie. This overview is great. If we have time at the end of the hour, we might swing back to you. But what I really want to do right now then is get to our employers. And first, I'd like to introduce Mike Bartel with BRAUN INTERTEC. I'm sharing the slides again. Mike, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, perfect. So, yeah, I'm Mike Barthel. I am a recruiter here at BRAUN INTERTEC. We operate all throughout Minnesota. If you want to go ahead and click the next slide there with us. So just a few things about BRAUN INTERTEC. If you're not aware of who we are, we've been around since 1957. We have a lot of different clients. I'll go over some of our projects that we've worked on in recent years that I'm sure you'll be very familiar with. We are an employee-owned company, so what that means is we're not publicly traded. All the profits that we make as a company, we reinvest that back into the business or our employees. So it really helps to develop a culture of we're all on the same team, whether it's me in HR or somebody in marketing, somebody working in the field. You know, we're all doing our best job to do what's best for the company. So it really helps with that culture. And just to go over our numbers, we have over 1,000 employees. Our main hub is in Minnesota. That's where our headquarters is in Bloomington, Minnesota. We also have a pretty strong presence in Texas and really throughout the central United States, from Minnesota down to Texas and Louisiana. So if you want to go to the next slide, focusing specifically on the Minnesota area, this kind of gives you an idea of where we operate within Minnesota and the areas and the cities that we have headquarters in. Kind of how our business operates is each location is responsible for their area. So if you look at like the Minneapolis-St. Paul location, they're focusing on the Twin Cities and projects out there. Fargo handles upper northwest Minnesota. We have Hibbing, Duluth. So each area is responsible for their specific place within the state and the surrounding cities around that. So just to kind of give you an idea, focusing on Minnesota and our surrounding states of where we really have a presence at. On our next slide here, looking more specifically at Minnesota, we outline our offices here. Looking at our markets, commercial, institutional, transportation, utilities, those are probably our biggest markets that we have. So when we talk about, you know, the types of projects that we do for like commercial, you know, we'll work at the Northern Stacks in Fridley. We work at Regions Hospital. We're down in helping at the Mayo Clinic down in Rochester. St. Cloud just had a hospital expansion. We worked out there. Target Field, we're working out there when that was getting built and the upkeep there. Different like sports facilities at the University of Minnesota. And then we worked with like the light rail, the Metropolitan Airport Commission that was just done, the I-35W bridge. These are all different projects that we work with. And how we're able to do that is by partnering with our clients. So BRAUN INTERTEC itself is not a construction company. What we are is we serve as consultants for the construction companies. So we'll do a lot of different material testing at their sites to make sure that the materials are up to code, that, you know, if we want to expand on a new site, that the soil is appropriate for whatever we want to build. We're kind of the science-y experts for construction companies. So that's how we're able to partner with the Mortensons, Ryan companies, things like that across the state of Minnesota. If you want to go to the next slide, this kind of goes over all of our different services and markets that we worked in. I touched on a few of our markets already that are kind of focused in the Minnesota area specifically. And then this is the types of services and testing that we do. So for example, if we look at the materials laboratory, we do asphalt testing, concrete, masonry, geotechnical, soil testing, chemistry testing even, anything that a site needs from a testing standpoint, that's what we'll do in our laboratory. Each site has their own little lab, and then we have a super big one at our Bloomington office, again, that we get materials sent to. Structures evaluation, so concrete consulting, and really trying to come up with less intrusive options for companies to do their different testing, making sure that projects are staying on schedule, avoiding a company needing to do extra exploratory work to get a project done, and then NDE, non-destructive testing, we do a lot of. So doing testing that's not going to affect the integrity of whatever it is that we're testing. And then if we go to the next slide here, I guess that's it there. So here's our BRAUN INTERTEC website that goes over all of our careers. You can see a sample of the different positions we currently have posted. This is just a sample of what we have out there that have been posted within the last week or two. So you can see it's a lot of scientists and coordinators and engineers is a lot of what we hire. Civil engineering, construction management, those types of positions are generally the types of fields that we go into, but we do have everything. I mean, I work in HR, I work for BRAUN INTERTEC marketing. We've got, we're not just specific to the workers that are out in the field per se in our laboratory. We have all the positions that would be required for a functioning company. And then there's my contact information, so that's me, Mike Barthel, right there. And that's my direct email address as well. If anybody has any questions after this is over with, I'd be happy to answer any of those through email, or if anybody has any questions right now for me.
Mike, can you talk about how you support your employees, benefits, that company culture?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do the 401k match. I believe it's 33% of every percent that you donate. So if you did like a 2% or a 3%, you'd get a 1% match on top of that. And then we have employee stock purchase plan. So you can buy stock as an employee. Only employees are eligible for it. They buy in BRAUN stock that you can purchase or that you can sell back later within the company. So it helps to have our employees invest within the company, and then that goes into a general fund that we use. And then as the company grows, the stock of that grows along with it. So that's really, really popular. It's grown exponentially. It's always every year for like the last 10 years, it's beat the S&P 500. So a lot of employees do that. And then during COVID, we do everything that we can. Each little hub has their own, little area. So we'll do team lunches or, whatever we can virtually to help support people as well. We have a co-op program and an internship program. They're all assigned mentors and supervisors for them with weekly check-ins. So just really trying to create that kind of family atmosphere I had before. We're over 1,000 employees, but between each site has its own little kind of hub, and then the more that we can do as a larger company to make everybody feel involved with kind of our philosophy is, people that are coming into work, excited to work, happy to work, you're going to be more productive, you're going to want to stay with the company longer. So that's the kind of atmosphere that we try to create for all of our employees.
Thanks. Does BRAUN hire people with customer service skills or administrative jobs, or hire people with a mechanical aptitude, but not necessarily the testing science background?
Yeah, absolutely. So generally we look at people that have the, more of the civil engineering and construction, but I've had a lot of people that I've hired that have been a mechanical or a petroleum or a manufacturing engineer, that have an aptitude for wanting to be outside in the field or understanding that piece of the business. Maybe you worked at a farm before or something like that. That's very common for us to do. And then we do within our headquarters have all of those administrative, payroll, HR, marketing, all of those positions as well. Those would be more focused at the Bloomington office specifically, so we wouldn't have those, kind of scattered across the state of Minnesota, but Bloomington specifically would have a lot of those types of positions.
Great, thank you. Anything else you want to add, Mike, before we wrap it up?
I don't really think so. I mean, I think the biggest thing for us is to find people that are in the utilities field and just kind of raise awareness of BRAUN INTERTEC and kind of all the different companies and things that we do. So I'm happy if anybody has any follow-up questions, if there's anything that wasn't clear, you want more specifics about something that we do, I'd be happy to answer that for anybody. Just reach out to me on email and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you. And thank you for being here today. Yes, he'll answer any questions in the chat if you have them, or you can reach out to him at mbarthel@brownintertech.com. So thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce now Jan Schofield-Misch of Universal Services. Jan, welcome. Are you able to unmute?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Hi,
there
can you
go.
hear me?
Yep, you're unmuted
Okay.
now.
Okay, thank you. So yes, hi, my name is Jan Schofield-Misch, and I am the Vice President of Human Resources for Universal Services. So we are a local company in Minnesota that does telecommunications construction. We're a subcontractor on behalf of Comcast. So that's one of our largest customers. If you want to go to the next slide. So we specialize in directional drilling. So think about Comcast and the fact that you need internet to a commercial building. So we drill that internet in the ground, below ground. We also cannot drill in the ground at all times. So we might have to do aerial placement of the internet. So we have been in business since 1998. We're headquartered in Hastings, but we have locations in Rogers. We have locations in St. Paul, Brooklyn Center, and we're looking to also build a new location in Hugo. So we are what's called turnkey. So one of the things that makes us be as fast as we are in our construction is the fact that we do everything from the front end of construction. So we'll do permitting, we'll be doing surveying, we'll also be calling the different cities to make sure that we can build and construct in the city. So we have people that do the pre-construction, we have directional drilling crews that do the construction, and then we also have to restore the construction. So we have hard restoration, hard surface, soft surface. Additionally, we have our own traffic control company. So if you think about when you see construction crews in the Twin Cities, we have to have traffic control diverting traffic away from our construction crews so they can operate safely. So we actually have our own traffic control company. In addition, we hired and acquired JDR Technologies in 2020. So I jokingly say everyone needs internet and everyone needs their cell phone. So we have experienced exponential growth. I know that Stephanie had talked about just the industry alone is growing at 11.5%. We're actually doubling and tripling our growth. So we need people, we need a lot of people because we are expanding with broadband and also our cell phone industry. So we do work on behalf of AT&T, T-Mobile, the 5G construction, so small cells. So in the Twin Cities, if you have Verizon or T-Mobile and you want 5G service, our company is the one that's doing that type of construction. So if you go to the next slide for me. So what do we do? Like I said, we do everything from pre-construction to actually doing the work to actually then restoring what we did. So we have fiber splicers, coax splicers. We do utility locating. Again, you can see the signage that we place out. In the upper right-hand corner, you see someone dangling from that cable. So that's an example of someone that's in the cell tower world, and they have to be thrill seekers. They have to be willing to go up in the air, 200 to 300 feet and be willing to dangle. So in this case, you really don't need special, we train on site. We have our own trainers that we certify people to be safely up in the air that high. But you can start with us, as Stephanie was saying earlier, everything from a laborer to a heavy duty equipment operator, to a cell tower climber, to a permit specialist, administrative, the list goes on and on. We are growing and we have been in business since 1998. So if you go to the next slide for me. So as I stated, here's some of the work opportunities that we're looking for. Everything from a field laborer to a concrete laborer. We really deeply need someone with a commercial driver's license because we need someone to drive the equipment out to the site, but we also need someone to get out of that equipment and do some work. So some people that have gotten a commercial driver's license, like let's just say, for example, a semi-truck driver, and they realize they don't want to sit in a truck all day long. They want to be out in the outdoors, and that would be a perfect example of someone we'd be looking for. Directional drill operators, foremen of our crews. You know, as an example, we went 3 and now we want 8, and we're actually looking to potentially have 15 teams just growing our business. Aerial line workers, that's an example of those pictures. We have people in those bucket trucks. So people that want to work for Xcel Energy, but they're scared of the big power. We want people, we're below the big power. So we do telecommunication aerial placement, and that's an example of what that could look like. We also need administrative staff. So people that can be behind the scenes. We have recruiters, we have administrative support staff. We're currently hiring for 4 administrative four administrative people for behind the scenes. We're looking to find those thrill seekers that are willing to go up on those towers. And we also are looking for traffic control folks in our traffic control group. So as you can see, we have the need for people, and we just really what would make you successful in our company is we need you to be reliable because your crews depend on you to be a part of the crew. If you go to the next slide for me. What's different and unique about our company is we do work year-round. We do not lay people off. We want people to work year-round. We are able to work year-round. So for those that don't want to be laid off and want year-round employment, you need to come to us. We have a lot of career advancement. We have a lot of long tenured employees that didn't know anything. So to be fair, there's not a school out there that teaches you how to directionally drill. We teach everyone that comes into our company to get them to the next level. I will say if you've got that commercial driver's license, that does help get you further faster. But I will say anyone that comes in our company that's reliable, hardworking, wants to work year-round, you are for us. We offer a lot of benefits. I came from a healthcare company. I know how important having good benefits for yourself and your family. We have paid time off, paid holidays. Our 401k match is if you put in 5%, we'll match 4%. Accident insurance, we have pet insurance, and it goes on and on. We do believe that employees are the best asset for our company. We are a privately owned company. We're not union, and we believe that our employees are what make our business great. So we would love for anyone that's interested to contact, if you go to the next slide for me, please. If you would like to take down the information, the phone number is 651-249-5108, and that's Mary. She'd be happy to take your phone call. Here's an example of the picture of a cell tower climber. So you have to be physically fit to be able to climb a tower, but we will teach you. You do not need to have experience to have this career. And I will say people that are willing to do this style of work, you need a valid driver's license. That's the biggest thing that we find is that people that are willing to go up high in the air tend to be thrill seekers. So they like to speed. So I will say, make sure you have a good driving record and a good background, and we would love to talk with you.
Thanks,
so I would
Jan.
ask, what questions do you have? Yes, what questions do you have for us?
Well, yeah, tell me about background checks. Do you do them on all employees, or how does that work?
We do. So as I had stated earlier, we do work for our vendors. So perhaps AT&T, T-Mobile, Comcast. So we're held to certain restrictions because we're working on behalf of these large corporations. So generally speaking, if you have a felony that's 7 years or more, that's not a concern. But if you have a recent felony, it'd be pretty hard. We are not felony friendly in the fact, you know, we go into commercial buildings. We install service into commercial buildings. And we are held to the contracts that we are under with the providers that we serve.
Thank you. And tell me too about age diversity, you know, because there are so many people who want to make a career change. How does diversity of all sorts work in your company?
So there are certain terms and conditions of employment with any job, your job requirements. One of the questions that we ask someone that does laboring, can you work outdoors year-round, shovel consistently, and lift 50 to 60 pounds? That is a job requirement. Just like climbing for a cell tower, you have to be able to climb and stretch and bend and lift. So if you're unable to meet those physical requirements, that might be very difficult. Now, if you're looking to make a career switch and you're looking to, but you have experience, whether it's, like here's an example, in our administrative side of the house, if you've been in the cellular space, we're looking for someone that can do closeouts. We're looking for an aerial construction supervisor. So in this case, certain levels, depending on what job it is, does not require the physicality like a laborer would require.
Thank you. Thank you. Other questions? Anything else, Jan, that you want to address? I don't see any other questions coming in. What are some of those key words that you look for in an application? Do you require a full resume?
We do not require a full resume. We will take someone that applies online and fills out the application online. Everything we do is through our system. So you don't have to have a full-fledged 10-year resume. You can just apply online to a position that makes sense for you. A couple things we look for are it's very simple. Are you reliable? We need people that want to come to work. Are you motivated by production? Are you motivated by getting a semi-annual bonus? Our employees do receive semi-annual bonuses. Depending on what level you might be at, you might receive a quarterly bonus. Not a lot of construction companies give their frontline ongoing bonuses. We do. But you have to be able to want to do this job year-round, work outdoors, and be physical.
Sure. Thank you. And then one last question. I think you already answered it. It says, are any of these roles union? I think I heard you say that you're not a union company.
Yes, we are non-union. We're very proud of the fact that we are non-union. We don't feel like we need someone to represent our employees. Additionally, we do not lay off people. So I know that a lot of companies that are unionized tend to be laying off employees. So we don't do that. We're growing. We need a lot of people. Like I said, our business has tripled in addition to acquiring a cell tower company. So if you want to work for a company that's growing, that would be us.
Great, thanks. I'm just going to put the email in the chat there. Mary Randa is one of your colleagues. And why don't you tell me more about, if people email Mary, what should they expect?
So excellent question. You can email Mary and she will be able to reach out to you. I would say, just give her a couple of days. We are so busy that I have actually hired on 2 more recruiters in the last 2 weeks. So we're in need of that much people that quickly. We definitely are growing, like I said, and so I would just ask that you wait a few days, but Mary will be able to get you very quickly.
Great. Thank you very much, Jan, for being here today. And at this point, I was going to wrap back over to Stephanie. Do you have other thoughts about the utilities, contracting and construction industry?
Yeah, I was going to say that, while most MUCA member companies are a union, a lot of them diversify so they don't lay off people. So I have companies that do utility installation in the summer, but plow snow in the winter. And that is especially true of the outstate organizations. When you get into those smaller towns, there is only one construction company hanging around. They don't have people that do separate plowing or, the contractor is typically the end all do all for that town or perhaps for that county. So there's a lot of work to be had. And I'll reiterate what Jan said is that basically we're looking for somebody who wakes up breathing, can get there on time, be drug free, and want to work hard. And that's it. If you want to do that, you can make 60 to 80 grand a year within, I would say, 2 years of starting work in this industry. There's plenty of opportunity. The other opportunity that's out there too is for growth, because it used to be back in the day for construction in particular and for utilities, we would get our workforce off the farm, folks that were already mechanically inclined, folks that were used to being outdoors. Now we've had to kind of change our minds and try and get people to see, especially those that have grown up in this computer-laden world, that there's plenty of good work to have in construction. And now, as a matter of fact, with the technology approaching, if you're into that kind of thing, a lot of contractor companies are using drones to do a sky view of their site before they start to dig, or they're using their what's coming up as smart machines, so dozers that can grade within a millimeter of what's required for the project. There's a lot of things going on. We're hopeful that we can attract more people to this industry, because the trades it's a good place to be. It's good work, and you'll feel good at the end of the day. You can turn around and look at what you built.
Yeah, I have heard that technology skills will be a requirement in every single job in our country, in the world. It's technology will be a basis of everything, no matter if you're serving food in a restaurant or nursing or in utilities.
Yeah, say, Liz, I see a question here from Rose.
Sure.
Regarding, have you seen a stronger shift toward diversity and inclusion in your workforce? Absolutely, yes. I will say that for MUCA contractors. I serve on the Minnesota Department of Transportation, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise and Workforce Collaborative. Our entire mission is to get minorities and women into construction or transportation. And we have been pretty much targeting folks in underrepresented communities to come and join the construction planet, because it's a great way to break the cycle of poverty, especially with the kind of pay that you can earn. So yeah, there's a definite movement, I'll say, and I've been with the DBE Workforce Collaborative for 8 years now. So we've been working at it for quite a while. And like I said, next week is Women in Construction Week. If you're on LinkedIn, I would invite you to look up that Women in Construction, just Google it, and you'll see all the different, as a matter of fact, last week, there's a gal here by the name of Missy Sherber. She owns, get this, T.S. Sherber Construction. She is, she's a maverick. T.S. Sherber does demolition. They do hauling, and they do site work. They do excavation, and she is the CEO. So I would highly encourage women and minorities to apply to construction, definitely.
About the diversity and inclusion question too, what initiatives have you seen within each one of the companies to support a more welcoming attitude? Have you seen an increase of, like education amongst foremen, and so that the team is actually inclusive?
Yeah, we have, at least MUCA in particular, we've hosted, matter of fact, that was almost 4 years ago now. We hosted a diversity and inclusion workshop. And I know that as part of the DBE Workforce Collaborative, they actually have a committee that is it's actually dedicated to educating contractors and making sure that leadership, it's called the Workforce Cooperation Worksite Cooperation Committee. So yeah, there is an effort on the part not only of the communities and our government entities that hire the contractors, but the contractors themselves, because they all recognize that diversity is a strength, actually.
Sure. Yeah. And then one more question too. What are some of the efforts that companies been making in their communities for the greater good by giving back? And Mike too, if you want to think about that and jump in there. Are communities, are businesses doing anything to give back to their communities, become a community partner?
This is Stephanie again. I can tell you what we do. It's
Sure.
huge. We do this thing, and it's huge and it's selfish in a way. We do this thing called Day of the Dozers. It's again out at ERX Motor Park in Elk River. We get at least 30 to 40 contractors come out. They bring their dozers, their excavators, their big trucks. We have a static display, and we charge the kids $20 and the parents 10. So the kids, anybody under 10, gets to ride in these excavators and these dozers, and all the money is donated to children's hospitals. We've been doing that for 8 years, and this will be our 8th year. Last year, we raised $60,050 for children's. Our overall 7-year total given to children's has been $372,000. So yeah, it's part of the construction community is passionate about giving back, and that doesn't even touch what the individual contractors do in their own communities. Many of them do volunteer activities at food shelves or at various church activities. So
good. Jan, over to you.
So because we do work on behalf of Comcast, we do support Comcast Cares Day, which is one of the largest volunteering events in the nation from a corporate perspective. So we do that annually. Additionally, we do every Christmas give we donate to our local food shelves. That's consistent every holiday time. Those are our 2 biggest initiatives. With COVID, it has taken, pre-COVID versus, not even post-COVID yet, but it really has changed how we get together, how we do things like each group typically will go do Feed My Starving Children. A lot of those activities that we would do together, we've had to stop. So, things have changed just because of the fact that we are during a pandemic. We hope to keep doing a lot of that again soon, but more to come there. But that's pretty much what we've done in the past.
Good, thank you. So if someone is looking for roles that would be more sales or project management, Stephanie has just put one of their associate member list websites up in the questions. Stephanie, do you want to say a little bit more about that?
Sure. I know of several organizations. Again, I always look on LinkedIn. That's where this will give you the list of the associate members of MUCA. It's Core in Maine. They sell pipe. County Materials, they're out of Roberts, Wisconsin. They actually make concrete pipe. There's so many different types of sales. There's Hayden Murphy Equipment Rental. I mean, the list is endless of the sales opportunities. There's auction houses. There's besides just the concrete and the pipe, there's all sorts of different service organizations for construction companies that help them do their jobs. So I would definitely check out the associate list on the page and do some more research on those companies. If you scroll over them, it'll be highlighted. It'll take you right to their website. And every single one of these companies will have a job opportunity up in the corner.
Great, thank you. Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you to Mike. Thank you to Jan. Thank you to Stephanie, all for being on the call. So much information. And I learn about these industries every week. I always point out to everyone on the call that CareerForce and MinnesotaWorks.net are your 2 resources for finding more jobs in your area that are hiring. I did a few random searches myself, not random at all. I very specifically typed in utilities infrastructure with quotation marks. Some of the other companies that came up that are currently hiring are Tech Services, Telecom Construction, USIC. I got a call late last night from Business Technical Services, another company. I think they shortened their name to BizTech, but I'll look into that. So please use our Minnesota Works resources to find the companies in your area. And remember, to all the job seekers on this call, that you can upload 5 different resumes, and then our employer partners can search for those resumes. So we train our business partners like USI and BRAUN INTERTEC and all of the other companies to search for you. So make your resume searchable depending on your skills. Next week, Explore Careers. We are going to celebrate Women in Construction Week. This week has been going on for a number of years, and I've attended their live events over the past couple of years, even though I don't work in construction, and have always found them so welcoming and informative. This year, all of the events are virtual, online. Our Explore Careers next Tuesday at 2:30 will include a couple of companies, Ryan Companies, 2 and 8 Trades, Vite, and one more that is slipping my mind right now. But you can register through CareerForce as you typically do, or you can get the link to Women in Construction, their Eventbrite page, and register that way. But take a look at all of the events going on. And then the week after, in our Explore Careers, we're going to be going on to the financial and retirement services. So I'm working on that topic right now. You can always send me topics that you would like to look into, and I will do my best to research them and come up with a good webinar for you. Also, remember, on CareerForceMN.com, we have the Explore Careers search bar that's right in the middle of our page. If you are looking for industry information, association administration related, association information related to that industry, or job demand information, plug in a job that you're thinking about or an industry, and you'll be able to get all of the information that you want to find out. Remember, we have career fairs, hiring events taking place all the time. I am hearing from company after company. Now that spring is coming, they are having hiring events, and we ask all of them to post it on our Attend Career Fair Networking Event webpage. I will get you that information in my follow-up materials. And again, go to CareerForceMN.com for all of the resources. Let us help you in your job search. Find a location nearest to you and reach out to them, or reach out to me, liz.jennings at state.mn.us. Thank you. We're going to end this event 5 minutes early. I am so grateful to everyone. I will include the contact information and our company websites in our follow-up materials today. And reach out to me if you have questions. So grateful to everyone. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.